On February 15, 2020, the life of a vibrant and compassionate therapist was cut short in a tragedy that shocked Hollywood and the mental health community alike. Dr. Amie Harwick, a licensed marriage and family therapist, was found gravely injured beneath the balcony of her Los Angeles home. The events that led to her death would expose a history of abuse, obsession, and violence, and spark urgent conversations about stalking and domestic violence. This is the story of Amie Harwick, a woman whose life's work was helping others heal, and the tragic circumstances of her untimely death. Amie Harwick was more than just a well-known therapist. She was a passionate advocate for mental health, a published author, and a familiar face in Hollywood social circles. Born in 1981 in Sellersville, Pennsylvania, Amie earned her Ph.D. in human sexuality and became a licensed therapist in California. She specialized in sex therapy and family counseling, helping clients navigate complex emotional issues. She also authored the book The New Sex Bible for Women, which received praise for its empowering and educational approach to intimacy. To many, Amie was a bright light, intelligent, independent, and full of life. In 2017, Amie was briefly engaged to comedian and actor Drew Carey. The two parted on good terms, but it was a different past relationship that would later resurface in a horrifying way. Amie had previously been in a relationship with Gareth Pursehouse, a software engineer and aspiring actor. After their breakup, Amie had filed multiple restraining orders against Pursehouse, citing physical abuse and stalking behavior. Although the restraining order had since expired, friends say Amie still feared for her safety. On the evening of Valentine's Day 2020, Harwick attended a burlesque performance, returning to her Hollywood Hills apartment shortly after 1:00 a.m. on February 15th. At 1:16 a.m., her roommate placed an emergency call to the Los Angeles Police Department, reporting screaming and the sound of a struggle in the apartment. When police arrived, they found signs of forced entry. Moments later, the responding officers found Harwick, badly injured and unresponsive, on the patio beneath her third-floor balcony. She was rushed to the hospital but succumbed to her injuries a few hours later. The cause of death: blunt force trauma consistent with a fall. But investigators quickly realized this was no accident. An initial investigation found that she had been strangled and thrown from the balcony after a home invasion. Surveillance footage and forensic evidence soon pointed to Gareth Pursehouse, a 41-year-old software engineer, photographer, and aspiring comedian whom Harwick had dated for around 18 months in the early 2010s. After she ended the relationship, he reportedly stalked and harassed her, and she filed multiple applications for restraining orders. A month before her death, she encountered him at the X-Biz Awards, an adult entertainment awards ceremony. She was attending on behalf of Pineapple Support while he was working as a photographer. Her friends witnessed him confronting her, calling her a bitch, and accusing her of ruining his life. Authorities believe he had broken into Amie's home and waited for her to return. Pursehouse was arrested and charged with murder with the special circumstance of lying in wait, breaking and entering, and home burglary. Prosecutors alleged that he attacked Amie, strangled her, and threw her from the balcony in a fit of rage. The motive: jealousy, obsession, and an inability to let go. His trial began on August 29, 2023. Prosecutors gave evidence that on the night of Valentine's Day 2020, he broke into her apartment, waited several hours until she returned home, and then punched her, strangled her, and threw her off the third-floor balcony, causing her death by blunt force trauma to the head and torso. He had brought a syringe containing a lethal amount of nicotine to her apartment, although it had remained unused. On September 29, 2023, a jury convicted Pursehouse of first-degree murder. On December 6, 2023, he was sentenced to life in prison without possibility of parole. He was also ordered to pay $7,500 in restitution. The news of Amie Harwick's death sent shockwaves across the nation. Drew Carey released a heartfelt statement calling her a beautiful person who loved life and was passionate about helping others. In the months that followed, friends and family called for stronger protections for victims of stalking and domestic violence. Amie's death ignited advocacy for policy change, including discussions around how restraining orders expire and how law enforcement handles threats from ex-partners. Her legacy now lives on in those conversations and in the lives she touched through her work. Amie Harwick dedicated her life to helping others find healing and peace. Her tragic death is a painful reminder of the dangers many face in silence and the urgent need for stronger safeguards against intimate partner violence. Thank you for watching. If you found this video informative, please consider liking and subscribing for more true crime content and important stories like this one.